Hello again. So last video we looked at citation, in-text citation. And in this video, we're going to move on and we're going to have a quick look at the basic formatting of referencing. Now, your references should be on the last page of your report. So don't put them on part of a page. Start a new page. The last page or pages of your report will be your reference page. So you can start the page. For example, if I was going to do a reference page, I would maybe just give it the heading reference list. Maybe move that into the center of the page. Nice and clear. Make it a bit bigger, maybe as a heading. Even underline it if you like. And then you can start your references, but references must start aligned to the left. So basically, the important thing to say here is that it's so much easier to start your reference list when you start your research, because by the end you will forget everything that you've read, not everything that you've read, but you will forget some of the sources of information and you won't be able to find them again. But if you do it as you go, as you research, it's much, much easier. It can also be quite time consuming to do a reference list. So best piece of advice I ever got when I was researching at university from a tutor was to start your reference list at the same time you start your research. You can always reformat it and change it, but at least all the information that you need will be there as a working document. Okay, so the difference between references and citation is that it contains more detail, such as a full name, on an initial rather, also a title, publisher's name if it's a book, or the organization name if there is a writer, and an organization online for an online source. And as I said before, it's separate from the text, usually in a bibliography, which is just another word for a reference list. And this is important, and you don't have to do this from the start, but at the end, before submitting, you need to put them in alphabetical order. So if you have them on a working document, you can cut and paste them into alphabetical order. And that alphabetical order will be family name. Family name first, so alphabetical order based on family name. So for a book, here is an example for a book. This is an example for the same one we looked at. We looked at this as a possible quotation for a presentation. This presentation could be about nuclear power, nuclear energy, for example. The health risks from the Fukushima reactors were in fact so low that in retrospect, the optimal response would have been not to evacuate anyone. And that was by in a book by Goldstein and Kvist in 2019. So there's our in-text citation. And what that would look like on our page of references would be that. So if I just escape, copy that, go to our, oops, We're done now. Get back on there. And it's a little bit big because it's come out of a presentation. So usual size font would be around 11 or 12 in Arial. So there's a 12. And that's how it would look on the reference list. It's a G there. The first name is a G. So we'll probably have something in front of it at some point because we would hope to have a lot more references, and one of them would probably be before a G. So it's unlikely to stay at the top, but for now it's the only one, so we can keep it at the top. So let's break that down and see what we have in that. Okay, so this is for a book, remember? So we have the whole title, and that title is in italics, so it's leaning. So there we have the title, A Bright Future, How Some Countries Have Solved Climate Change and the Rest Can Follow. I'll show you the book, actually. We've got it here on my bookcase. You can see that, there you go, A Bright Future. And then this is the subtitle, How Some Countries Have Solved Climate Change and the Rest can follow. So often there are subtitles on books, and you can see here the main title is A Bright Future, and then a colon, and then How Some Countries Have, the subtitle comes after a colon. There's no colon on the book, on the cover. This is APA formatting, so that's what you need to do. So capital letters are important. Here we have a capital A. On the book, everything is capitalized, capital letters, right? But on your formatting, on your reference list, only the first word of the title and the first word of the subtitle, the H here in how, should be capitalized. Everything else doesn't need a capital unless it's a name. So for example, if it was a country, it would have a capital, but every other word, apart from the first letter of the first word, would be lowercase. Okay, so make sure you get the name right. A lot of students have problems identifying Western names and foreign names, which name comes first, but it should be easy to work out from the book, or you can search the internet and find out whether these are first names or second names. Goldstein's quite a common name, Jewish name. So Kvist less so, but actually if you look at the book, his first name is Stefan. So that's clearly a first name. So the formatting, if there are two initials, they need to be separated by a period, as Americans would say, or a full stop, as I would say, and then a comma, and both names are like that. The date needs to be in brackets. These are the same, not just for a book. So the name formatting and the date for every source, internet sources, book sources, everything. Okay, so again, if we look at it broken down, author's family name, comma, first initial, full stop, year, date. Published, or remember, no year, which happens sometimes, ND. And here we have some examples. One author, two authors, three or more authors. Unlike the citation where we write et al., in the reference list, we have to write all of the names. The last thing we've got here, public affairs. Public affairs is the name of the publisher, and that name of the publisher you can usually find on the title page on the inside of the book. So there you have it. Look, public affairs, name of the publishing company. Okay, so this will be on Moodle, so you can check it if you like. I'm going to stop the video there, and the next video will be online reference sources.